Hi, my name is Aaron Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and motivational speaker. Today we're going to talk about bear spray. The first question people ask when they come to bear country in Tetons, the Yellowstone, Montana, Idaho is, do I need bear spray? And people always debate because when you go to any of the stores, the outdoor outfitters, Albertsons, Smith's, just about anywhere in the region, the bear spray is really, really expensive, like $39 to $59 a bottle. Now, you might say, what's the big deal about this? So let's talk about bear spray a minute, just to get you better appreciate the danger. This is a particular bottle of Counter Assault. I don't know if this is the original bear spray, but the original picture of the guy who developed Counter Assault, or at least the claim that Counter Assault, the picture of him on the package, on the back, is this dude with just blood pouring down his face, and there's so much blood coming down his face, and he looks like totally messed up. It doesn't even look real. And fortunately, unfortunately, this guy got attacked by a bear, but fortunately, he actually survived. And this is back in the days of no bear spray. And the story goes that he decided, okay, we need some non-lethal, more effective technique than using firearms to deter, get rid of, or kill bears. And so a lot of research was done. They eventually figured out that bear spray was actually it. Now, there's a lot of debate about the efficacy of bear spray and everything. We'll get into that in a minute. But what about the question of, do I need this at all? Well, here you go. Here's your scenario. You're out with your spouse and your kids, and you're hiking along, and you're having a great time. And then all of a sudden, you come around the corner, and you hear this clack, clack. And what is that? And you look around, and all of a sudden, you see this bear charging at you at 30 miles an hour in 2 seconds. And there you are with your backpack and your kids and your spouse, and all of a sudden, that's about all the time you'll have to do if you hadn't thought about it. Now, this bear has claws, grizzly bear at least, has claws that are 4 inches long, and they're not like our little wimpy fingernails. No, bear claws, so I want you, they're going to give you some homework here. I want you to go on Google and YouTube and watch bear marking tree. And a lot of times this is more black bears that you'll see videos because they're more common. You'll see this tiny little black bear with 3-inch claws. He or she is digging into a tree and going, and that tree, the bark's flying off, and they can dig like an inch and a half hole into tree bark with one single claw rake. And in fact, that's how bears mark their territory often, is raking claw marks in trees. So if you happen to be hiking around and you see these weird Freddy Krueger claws in trees, now kids, for those who don't know, look up Freddy Krueger Nightmare on Elm Street? Yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street with the whole claw thing. Woo boy, that'll give you nightmares. You won't sleep tonight. Trust me on that. But bears have the ability to take those claws and go, and in a single pass, they can dig an inch and a half into that bark and into the cambium and the actual wood of the tree. So here's my homework assignment for you. I want you to go outside. I want you to find a tree of yay diameter to huge. And I want you to take your incredible 4 fingers. And I want you to grab on that tree and, of course you're not going to do it because you know it's going to hurt like a bleeper. And you're going to tear your fingers up. You are not as strong as a bear. Oh, I want you to take a hatchet. Take a hatchet, go to your favorite tree, and try and chisel out. Of course, don't do this, but you know, if you're cutting down a tree, if you've got a log, try and in a single swipe, drag a 10 to 12 inch groove into a tree with a single swipe of your hatchet or your axe. Can you do it? No, you can't. I've even tried. Not possible. I mean, the power of this animal is mind-blowing. And we're talking about black bears. So you get to grizzlies, which are way bigger. In the lower 48 states, 260 to 400 plus pounds. In Alaska, whoa, like half a car. Those things are insane. We're not going to talk about Alaska here because everybody carries around a 44 Magnum, a 454 Casull, and you think, oh, that's terrible, and they shouldn't do that. Well, if you live in Alaska, and I suppose unless you live in Anchorage and you never leave the city, virtually everybody there carries firearms because the bears are so dangerous. So you say, do I need bear spray? Again, that's the question. So you've had this bear charging, and the bear may be bluffing, the bear may dodge, the bear may come to a halt and turn around, or sadly, so often, the bear may actually do what the bear does. Now, when you usually get charged by grizzlies, they just do it out of spite. I don't know what God put in them, but people call grizzlies the a-holes of the forest. Yeah, bleep. Yeah. So they just like have a bad attitude the whole time. I don't know if they got up on the wrong side of the bed, and when they're eating the honey, they got a bunch of bees in their mouths. I don't know what you're going to do. But when now you got the bear spray and you're prepared with it, and the bear's charging, you might have a chance. What kind of chance do you have with bear spray? The statistics show that you've got a 90% chance of actually surviving a negative bear encounter, negative meaning attacking you, wanting to kill you, 90+% success rate with bear spray. With firearms, the general statistics that I've seen, you only have a 50% chance of not being harmed during an encounter. The thing about bear spray too is when you fire this thing, and I'm not going to fire it because I won't be able to be in my house for a couple days, you crank that safety off and it's like a fire extinguisher. First it kicks because it's got a lot of power. Put the safety back on. Kicks a lot of power, but the cloud that spreads out from the bear spray goes out over 20 feet and it spreads out to this huge, bear size sort of cloud. So there's a good chance that as you're spraying it towards the bear will actually go through that cloud. Now, you are relying on the bear inhaling or having its eyes open as it's charging you. There have been cases, and very super sadly recently, where bear spray absolutely did not work for a guide in the Teton Wilderness, and unfortunately he lost his life. There's a whole story behind that, but more often than not, several people I've known, they've hosed down bears. Phew, okay, problem solved. With a firearm, right? You have a bullet, let's say you're shooting a 454, huge cannon. Now you're going to get one shot off and you're going to have to go to the doctor for your wrist. But the bullet is less than half an inch in diameter. You're going to shoot that bullet out and you've got a half inch to try and hit this huge animal running at you. However, when that animal is charging, it's only about the size of your hand until it's right on you. So unless you're absolutely trained at bear charges and drawing your weapon and taking aim and shooting the bear successfully, chances are you are not going to succeed just because the shock of the moment, the bear's charging, it's a moving target, you're pooping your pants, you're trying to shoot, you're shooting all over the place, you think you're doing a great job, but you're not. So generally the theory is that shooting at a bear is not going to be very successful. I've watched these training videos of you've got a trailer and you've got a fake laser gun, and then they'll just shoot the bear at you at 30 miles an hour. And then you got to successfully shoot the bear in the head or something. Oh, did you know a bear runs 30 miles an hour in like 2 seconds? How fast does Usain Bolt, the fastest person in the world, run? I think 22 miles an hour. A bear runs 50% or more faster than this guy. If you can't beat Usain Bolt in the 100-meter dash, chances are you're not going to outrun a bear. You run away from a bear, chances are you're going to be toast because the bear's like, oh, play toy. So, is bear spray effective? Most of the time, absolutely. Another thing about bear spray, you must carry it. So you can draw, unload, and spray that sucker in less than 3 seconds. Of all the stories and stats that I've seen of bear encounters, they are typically begun and to engagement in about 3 seconds. So, if you are carrying your bear spray in its handy dandy pouch with this extra little dealy, Are you going to be able to click that off and get the safety off and shoot? Maybe. 3 seconds sounds long, but when you're freaking out, facing an animal that can rip your face off, probably not. If you are carrying this in your backpack, I promise you, just go get a rock that weighs, whatever, 10, 12 ounces, put it in your pack. Because at least this will spray down your pack. At least a rock, you can get rid of it. This stuff, if it is not in a holster, in your chest, I need to widen out my video here, on your chest where you can pull it out and spray it, or I typically put it in my cargo pants pocket so I can whip it out and like a, like an old cowboy shooter. And I actually practice that. I practice coming out, and as I'm lifting up, I get that safety off as quick as I can. So I've actually practiced that quite a bit. So that way, if, God forbid, the encounter ever happens, I'm ready to go. So I've seen people carrying with dangling around the pack and all that. Bear spray is useful only when you can get it out and deploy it in 3, maybe 5 seconds tops. Look around on YouTube for other bear attacks, and you'll see how fast they happen. It will blow your socks off. So when I'm in bear country, I don't even have this little strappy deal. Of course, I got it backwards. I'm going to spray myself here. I don't even have this strappy deal on here. When I'm out, I take the strap off, put the Velcro around, have this at my hip so I can pull out, draw, and hose that sucker down. So people ask me, is bear spray worth it? Well, it's like $39 to $50. Well, in Jackson Hole, there is a place called Backcountry Rentals. They actually rent this stuff. I think it's less than like $10 a day. And if you rent it long enough, it gets cheaper. And if you return it unused, super cheap. So that's a consideration too. Also, people say, oh, do I need one or do I need multiple? Well, if you have multiple people in your party, maybe you get separated, maybe the person in back doesn't have or has a bear spray. Everybody, you want your own bear spray. Because you say, man, that's expensive. Let me ask you this. If a bear grabs your face, and they always attack the face, the bear knows to go after this thing, that's what they attack first. They bite your face, they'll bite through your forehead, and then rip your face off. How much does it cost to sew your face back on and put your scalp back together and put your skull back on? Probably more than $39 to $59. So please, people, when you're out, talk to a professional, talk to the guide services, talk to the park rangers. You'll see all park rangers in any park that has grizzlies or bears. They always carry, grizzlies, not black bears. They always have bear spray on their hip at the ready just because of that. So just remember, how much does it cost to sew your face back on and repair your skull versus how much does bear spray cost and prepared and trained to use it? That's right. You never want to have a tragedy that's completely avoidable. This does not hurt the bear. Believe me, an animal that can claw a tree down, rip a door off, smash through a building, bear spray, it's just like getting pepper in their face. They'll run away, no harm, no foul. Shooting, you might kill the bear if you could get a brain shot or a spine shot. Otherwise, a shot bear is a really mad bear. And even if they're going to die in a minute, that's a lot of damage to suffer in a minute. This, if you accidentally hose your friends down, their head will be on fire, but they'll survive. You accidentally shoot your friends? Right. So, that said, do people carry firearms and bear spray? Oh yeah, and there's different philosophies, but at least have this, if nothing else, totally non-lethal. Nobody's going to die from it. It's going to be miserable. But for a bear, chances are it dissuades them. So yes, please, when you're going into any grizzly country, carry some sort of bear spray with you. Chances are you will never need it, but the one time that you might need it, and I'm not touting counter, so I'm just any UDAP or whoever. Definitely very important. They also have expiration dates on there. So if it's expired, pitch it. Just like an expired Advil. Doesn't work anymore. What else can I tell you about this? Oh, there is organic bear spray. Ha ha ha! The bear doesn't care about your organic philosophy. They don't care. Get the full power stuff. Do not go organic because the bear will turn you into a peppered lunch. Don't do that. go with the full power juice, and hopefully you never have to use it, but you will statistically survive. My name is Aaron Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and motivational speaker. Please be safe in bear country. Follow the recommendations of the local rangers and law enforcement and park folks, and be safe out there in bear country. Please like and comment on my video and help me out by subscribing to my channel. Thank you.